Hey, what's up guys? Thanks for watching another one of my videos. If you're watching this video, you're probably familiar or have the same problem as I do with these stupid seats. It's called seat twist. Now, this is a common problem on most of the BMWs. So whenever you want to tilt the seat forward or backward, only one side moves and the other one stays still, and that's where the whole seat twists, and obviously that's where they get the name from. Now, I have the same problem when I want to tilt the seat forward and backward, and when I want to push the seat up. Only one side goes up and the other one stays down. Now, this is very annoying, especially when you're driving, but finally I was able to get to it, and now I'm going to show you how to do it. So this is how it looks from the back. It's really ugly, and I have the same problems on both of the seats, on the driver and the passenger. So I'm going to start off by doing the passenger side, and then I guess I'll make another video on the driver's side. The driver's side has the buttons, so it might be a little more complicated, but I'll show you step by step. Alright, so the first thing you need is going to be this T50 socket wrench. Now, proceed by removing the 4 bolts that are holding down the seating to the chassis. There's 2 on the front and 2 on the back. Now, in order for you to access the ones on the front, you got to move the seat all the way backwards. And to access the rear bolts, you got to move the seat all the way to the front. Now, you can remove this lid or you can leave it on. It's up to you. I'd rather remove it and not break it. And then you're going to have these 2 bolts on the back. So just go ahead and remove those. Once you're done removing all the bolts, go ahead and center the seat. Make sure it's in the middle of the rails and just tilt the seat backwards. And remove these little pin that I'm pushing there. That's like a lock. So once you're done removing that, you should be able to remove this cable. Now this cable is attached to the seat belt. So if you don't remove this cable, there's no way that the seat is coming off of the interior of the vehicle. So you have to remove this cable. So I'll get a screwdriver, stick it on the other side, and the whole pin should come right off. Now the only thing that is holding the seat into the vehicle is these harness cables. So go ahead and push it backwards, and it should come right off. You don't have much space to remove the harness there, or if you can do it, be my guest. So just go ahead and pull this tab, and you should be able to remove the harness cable. Alright, so the seat is out of the vehicle, but the seat belt is still attached to the seat though, so let's go ahead and get that out of the way. So there's another bolt that you gotta remove, and it's another T50 bolt, but the problem is that there's no space whatsoever, and the socket wrench doesn't even fit there. So let's go ahead and use some pliers and remove it. So this is the bottom of the seat, and these are a few of the tools that I'm using. Now these bad boys here, they're 8mm, and there's 2 motors, and there's 4 screws holding each motor, and these are the cables that you gotta remove. But you have to remove the motor in order for these cables to come out, because there's some metal plates, and those plates help those cables to stay in place. Now this side is the hardest because you have no clearance whatsoever. So like I said before, use whatever tool comes handy and just get them out of the way. Now the most important tool that you need is patience, because it is a pain on the ass to remove these stupid screws. Um, Keep in mind, you are gonna spend a few hours doing this. This is, like I said before, this is the hardest part of the job, just removing these bolts or screws, because there's no space whatsoever. Especially if the seat doesn't go up, you can't access these screws. And there's 2 motors in total. There's one for the that makes the seat go up and down, and the other one's for the recliner that tilts the seat back and forward. And each motor has a cable on each side. There's one cable on the left and one cable on the right, and each cable controls that side. Alright, so like I said before, the most important tool for this job is patience. This is the day after I started this job, and I ended up removing these panel, cover, lid, whatever you want to call it. And I removed it by removing these little pin over here, and there's another one at the bottom there. Now they are a little hard to get out, and the proper way of removing these pins are by squeezing them inward, but they are like, you literally have no space to get your fingers in there. So I removed them by putting a few flathead screwdrivers and just kind of, you know, pull them out. After that, you're gonna find 2 more screws, and they are torque screws. You're gonna find one on the front and one on the side. Now you need a T30 30 screw head or socket wrench, whichever one you come across, and now you're gonna have access to those screws. And let me show you. One of them's most of them you can access them through these holes. There's one, and the other ones you can see from here. So remove that lid, and it's gonna make your life much easier. So get a socket extension and just remove those bolts, man. It's gonna make your life much easier by doing this. Cause man, trust me, it's no joke trying to access those stupid screws. So like I said before, go ahead and label the cables with the motor, because if you cross them, you're gonna have a huge problem. For example, these two cables on the left, one cable is for the recliner and the other one's for the seat to go up and down. So if you cross them, you're gonna have a huge problem at the end. So what I'm doing now is I'm aligning the seat. I forgot to do this before I remove the seat out of the vehicle, so you might want to do that before removing the seat. Using a drill, but I won't recommend using one because we did this in my buddy's vehicle and we ended up messing up one of the gears. The gear is made out of plastic, but the dealer won't sell you just the gear. They'll sell you the whole piece, and each piece is about 1,300, and there's two per seat. So just do them manually. Now just align both of the sides, the left and the right from the recliner, same with the height, make sure they're all even. Now what we need to do is we got to remove all these metal caps, and in order for you to do that you have to apply heat to them or hit them with whatever the hell you want. The first time we tried doing it, we tried it with a lighter, but trust me, take my word for it, it never worked. So I went out and bought this torch. This one costs about $29, but it makes a huge difference. Now I'm only going to show one side because I want to keep this video the shortest as I can. But go ahead and cut about 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of this rubber. It seems that through the years it seems to expand, and that's what keeps the gear away from that wire. So you just want to expose the wire inside of the motor. Now you can also remove this wire, and it's much easier to cut the rubber off. But when you put it back in, you have to be careful because when you push it in, you have to twist it a little bit. Now, when you twist it, make sure you twist it back the opposite way because you're messing up the alignment. Now, this wire is round except on the corners. On both of the corners, it's square. So that's why I'm telling you, when you put it back in, you have to twist it a little bit to make sure it's grabbing a good grip on the gears. Same on the motor. When you're putting it back in the motor, you have to make sure it's all the way in. Now just go ahead and clean the metal caps. Go ahead and remove. Some of them are gonna have these cutting, I think it is. So just go ahead and remove it and go ahead and clean the inside. There's gonna be some rubber stuck in there, so just make sure they're all clean. So now we have to put the metal caps back in. So go ahead and get some pliers and heat the metal cap so they can go back into the rubber. And after they cool off for a couple minutes, go ahead and put the cutting material back in. Alright, so I'm all done here. All I have to do now is put everything back where it belongs. I gotta put the level wires to the level motor, and everything should be working just fine, just like nothing ever happened. And here's a quick little tip. These I was having problems with the screws; they kept falling off, so I'm putting tape to lock them into the socket wrench, and they work just fine, man. So be my guest if you want to do that. Alright, so I'm just going to say this one last time. This job requires of a lot of patience. If you don't have patience, stay away from it because you're most likely going to end up getting a hammer and smacking the heck out of the stupid seat. Because getting to those screws is no freaking joke, man. Trust me, take my word for it. Now, one thing you can do is you can call your local dealer. Now, be prepared to spend a couple grands because it is expensive. I called two of my local dealers. One of them wouldn't even do it, and the other one told me that I was better off getting a brand new seat. Now, I found a local mechanic by my house, but he was charging me $850 per seat. So you're talking about $1,700. Now, if you can do it yourself, great. You can save a lot of money. Now, another thing to keep in mind, this is a 2002 525. If I'm not mistaken, the 2000 and lower, it's easier to work on. Alright, so I'm all done here. I'm not gonna show you step by step how to put everything back together because you already broke it apart, so everything should be easy to put in. You know, just do it the opposite of how you how you removed it, and you should be all good to go. Now, as you can see, the seat now goes back and goes forward without twisting. The most important thing. So I don't know. It's either one or the other. Either you have patience or you have money. If you have money to throw away, then fuck it. Be my guess. Spend $3,000 per seat if you want at the dealer. But everything was just fine. Alright, so I'm all done here. I just want to thank you guys for watching the video. There's a lot more videos on my channel, so please feel free to check out my channel. One last advice: if you remove the seat, don't drive the car. Don't be stupid like I am. I removed the seat and I drove it, and now my airbag light came on. So now I have to go to the mechanic and have that reset. So please rate the video. Please give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll reply as soon as I can. Thanks a lot for watching.